Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my model discussion video forecast for October 22nd, 2017. This is Lester Rhodes from Absolute Vorticity Weather Forum, and we're going to have a little fun talking about some things on the forecast, short term, medium term, long term, a little typhoon action, the MJO. Now let's get to our top weather stories and we'll take a look. We have a lot of slides to get through, so pay attention. Big change is upon us. Two systems coming up for the rest of October. We have one next week producing a lot of rain tomorrow, as you'll see in a moment. You're probably aware of that one. And another one by next weekend. A cold start to November as the ensemble models and the GFS and European are also indicating. And some random wintry thoughts if we have time at the end. We'll see. Alright, so far you can see the October pattern for the airport here. And you can certainly see how warm it's been. Look at the highs over here, 73, 78, 83, 84, 73, 81, 84. And you can see that is, whoa, got happy on the mouse wheel. Mainly above average, obviously, by about 6 degrees. Precipitation, we are certainly above average for October by at least ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch. And we've had a couple of good systems coming through. But we have had a dry period recently at the airport and other parts of the Ohio Valley as well. So we got a big change. Here's the current hemispheric pattern from the European ensemble. Big vortex over Alaska. That's where the polar vortex is up here. Big ridge. Look at that bad boy over Hudson Bay, eastern Canada, and the northeastern U.S., mid-Atlantic, down into the southeastern United States. Bam! 6 to 10 day hemispheric pattern from the European GFS and Canadian models. You can certainly see a big blocking pattern from western Canada into Alaska and also the western United States. That's a positive PNA pattern and a negative EPO pattern. A big trough in the lakes in Ohio Valley and some nice blocking. Not really a true negative NAO, but more of a North Atlantic blocking up into southern Greenland. It's really not up into Baffin Bay very much or over Greenland. So it's pretty much just a North Atlantic ridge, but definitely not positive at all, more neutral. But that's certainly a much colder and stormier look to the overall pattern. So here is the 24-hour temperature change courtesy of Penn State University. You can see warmer than 24 hours ago over the eastern United States over here. And then colder just to the west. Look at that, 20, 25 degrees colder in the purple area here from Texas all the way up into the Great Lakes. And then where the ridge is, you can see here over the Rockies in the western U.S., 10, 15, 20 degrees warmer air there from 24 hours ago. So you can see the shot of cold air number 1 is just off to our west. Here it comes. Shot of cold air number 2 is building up here in southern Canada. So that's what's going on right now. Current radar picture tonight, and you can see some rain off to the west in Illinois, western Kentucky, St. Louis, Wisconsin, all the way up into Michigan is wet tonight, and that's slowly headed our way by tomorrow morning. So look for a wet commute in the morning. Here's the GFS model for Monday morning. You can see some heavy rain moving into the area. This is as valid as of 8 a.m. So a wet 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock period, certainly. The European is right there. Definitely agrees, as you can see. So a wet Monday ahead. Take the umbrella to work and school, folks. Be careful on the roads, especially Monday morning. All right, next system. Toward the end of the week, the GFS is a cold front dropping in on northwest flow pattern. You can see the big ridge over the west. Big trough diving in here with the front. European model is a little slower with the system. Sunday, next weekend, it has the front coming through. And a little tropical trouble, possibly down here in the Caribbean lurking, about a week from now at day 7. Interesting. The European carries that by Monday before right before Halloween. That's the tropical system that was down in the Caribbean. Day 7, right before Halloween, the day before, is up here. We got to watch this. The GFS does not show any tropical development at this time. This is November 1st, the day after Halloween. There's not much happening. So the GFS doesn't do much with the tropical system that the European does. So we'll see what happens there. Here's the GFS ensemble long range as we kick off November. Nice positive P&A pattern. Negative Eastern Pacific Oscillation pattern. More of an NAO now. It's building more toward Greenland. Weekly negative NAO, I think, here. It's more east-based. The ridge is east of Greenland. It's not over or west. So it's a different pattern. But it's certainly one with the ridge centered a little more west. Remember, a few days ago, the models had the ridge, over here. And a big trough over New England. It's further west. Better storm track, better cold, maybe first flakes for the Ohio Valley. European ensemble, virtually the same thing. Big Aleutian low over here. The Big Pig Ridge out here. Big trough for us in the lakes. Southeast Canada. Southern Greenland, the big ridge there. So that's our pattern toward the end of the month and as we kick off November. Here's day 16. November 7th, 384 hours. The GFS, pretty much the same pattern. Polar vortex is now situated here over northern Hudson's Bay. This is more of a positive Arctic oscillation because we want it down here for a negative Arctic oscillation to get the cold down here. Cold is starting to develop though. We might turn a little bit warmer over the United States after the 7th. There's a little bit of ridging here, a little bit of a weak negative Eastern Pacific oscillation. We've lost some of the ridging over the west, more of a faster Pacific jet. We'll have to see what happens there. Not a torch pattern, but a warmer pattern. But we'll see. Some cold is building. Cold is building. And finally, the European ensemble, same thing. Cold is building. This is November 6th for the European. And it's showing pretty much the same deal, weak ridge out there. A little bit more of a warmer pattern, probably more seasonable. Not a torch in any means. No southeast ridge at all. It's way over here, so that's not a factor at this point. So we'll see what happens after the first week. I do believe it's going to be colder starting next week, wetter and windier, and also colder through the first week of November. So here is the P&A positive in the next 2 weeks. NAO is negative to neutral. Western Pacific Oscillation is neutral to weekly positive. Not much of a signal there. That can just be discounted. Eastern Pacific Oscillation is negative. Here comes the cold. That's why we're going to see a couple of good cold shots during this period. With the Madden-Julian Oscillation in the Western Pacific phases 5 and 6 right now. That's why we have a super typhoon land. We'll see him in just a minute. Going into phase 8 before going into circle of death in the first week of November. This is from the GFS, cold phases. The European, virtually the same thing, as you can see. So that is another reason why the typhoon action is active, and we got some cold air coming, a complete pattern change. The MGO has awakened. Here's the typhoon, super typhoon land, as you can see right here, getting ready to hit Japan. It's going to avoid Tokyo, which is over here, so that's good. It's going to avoid Tokyo. But anyway, it's gonna, the center anyway, it's still gonna get a lot of rain. But the center is should avoid them. But anyway, it's going to buffet them and then move northeast and recurve, and that's going to push all that warmer toward Alaska with the negative Eastern Pacific Oscillation, and that'll dump the cold air into us. So after November 7th, we'll see what happens. Alright, I want to thank everybody for watching my model discussion video forecast this evening. Hope everybody enjoys football and friends this evening, and have a great work week, and be careful in the morning with the rain tomorrow. Bye-bye.